Success is not an accident, it's a formula, a blueprint. For over 4 decades, I've studied the most successful people in the world, entrepreneurs, leaders, thinkers, and millionaires. And here's the truth, they all follow the same timeless principles. In this video, I'm going to share the 7 laws of success that completely transformed my life and the lives of millions of others. If you apply these laws, your success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Let's begin. The law of cause and effect is the foundation of all success. It states simply, for every effect in your life, there is a specific cause. Nothing happens by chance. Every result you experience, whether it's wealth or poverty, health or illness, happiness or frustration, is the direct consequence of something you did or failed to do. This law is as predictable and consistent as the law of gravity. And once you understand and fully accept it, your life changes forever. Many people go through life hoping for better outcomes without ever changing their behavior. They wait for luck, for the right opportunity, or for someone else to solve their problems. But the law of cause and effect tells us you must change the cause if you want to change the effect. If you're not satisfied with your results, you must go back and examine what's creating them. That's where your power lies. This law applies to every area of your life. Take your income, for example. Your income is the effect. The causes are your skills, your knowledge, your habits, your work ethic, and how much value you provide to others. If you want to increase your income, you must increase or improve the causes that create it. You might need to learn new skills, take on more responsibility, work more efficiently, or solve bigger problems for your customers or employer. You are not underpaid. You are paid exactly what you're worth in the marketplace, based on the value you deliver. The same is true with your health. Your physical condition today is the effect. The causes are your eating habits, your exercise routine, your sleep quality, and your stress levels. If you want better health, you must trace back to the behaviors that influence it and make different choices. Again, there are no accidents. Your body is simply responding to the inputs you give it every day. Your relationships, too, are governed by this law. If you want a more loving, respectful, or supportive relationship, look at what you're contributing to it. Are you listening? Are you being kind? Are you showing appreciation? If not, the results you're experiencing, distance, tension, conflict, are the natural effects of those causes. Change how you show up, and you begin to change the dynamic. One of the most powerful aspects of the law of cause and effect is how it eliminates excuses. You are not a victim. You are not helpless. No matter what has happened to you in the past, you are always in control of what you do now. Once you stop blaming external factors, your boss, the government, the economy, your upbringing, you take back full responsibility for your life. And with responsibility comes power. Because if you are the cause, then you can create a new effect. This principle also explains why success can be learned. If you can identify the specific thoughts, behaviors, and strategies that successful people use, and you apply them in your own life, you will get similar results. That's why I often say, if you do what other successful people do, over and over, nothing can stop you from eventually getting the same results they have. It's not magic, it's the law. Here's something else you need to know: the law works both ways. If you consistently do the wrong things, if you procrastinate, avoid responsibility, blame others, or ignore your goals, you will get negative results. The law doesn't care whether the causes you choose are positive or negative. It simply delivers the corresponding outcomes. That's why it's so important to become conscious of your choices. Every decision you make is planting a seed, and those seeds will bear fruit, either good or bad, depending on what you planted. Understanding this law also leads to a higher level of personal accountability. You stop wishing for easier circumstances and start working to become a better person. You no longer waste time complaining about what you don't have. Instead, you focus on what you can do differently to create the life you want. And in that moment, everything begins to shift. People who achieve extraordinary success are not better or luckier than you. They're simply more intentional about the causes they are creating in their lives. They think better thoughts. They take smarter actions. They develop stronger habits. And as a result, they enjoy more positive effects. Whether it's financial freedom, good health, fulfilling relationships, or inner peace, The law is always working. Whether you believe in it or not, it's influencing your life every day. The question is, are you using it to your advantage, or are you letting it work against you? Once you accept this universal truth, that your actions, thoughts, and decisions are shaping your reality, you step into the driver's seat of your life. From there, anything becomes possible. The law of clarity states that success begins with a clear vision. Clarity is power. The more precise you are about what you want, the more likely you are to achieve it. In fact, lack of clarity is one of the greatest obstacles to success. Most people don't get what they want in life simply because they've never taken the time to define it in exact terms. They have vague wishes, not clear goals, and vague goals lead to vague results. When you are absolutely clear about who you are, what you want, and where you are going, you activate a series of mental and emotional processes that move you toward your goal faster than anything else. You begin to focus your time, energy, and attention with laser precision. Opportunities that were once invisible suddenly appear. Your decisions become easier, your motivation increases, and your confidence grows. You begin to operate with purpose. Clarity must come before competence. Before you can become excellent at anything, you must be clearer about what you're trying to accomplish. That's why every great achievement starts with a clear goal. Imagine a pilot flying an airplane without knowing the destination. It sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly how most people live. They wake up, go to work, go through the motions and hope something good happens. They drift instead of design. The law of clarity demands that you stop drifting and take full command of your direction. One of the simplest and most powerful exercises you can do is to take out a blank sheet of paper and write down your goals. Not in your head, but on paper. Clarity increases tenfold when you write things down. Make your goals specific, measurable, and time-bound. Don't just say, I want to make more money. Say, I will earn 100,000 this year by offering consulting services to 5 new clients. The more specific you are, the more actionable your plan becomes. Clarity also applies to your values. You must be clear about what matters most to you. What do you stand for? What are your non-negotiables? What are the principles that will guide your decisions? Without clear values, it's easy to get pulled in every direction. You may chase success only to realize you sacrificed something more important, your integrity, your relationships, or your peace of mind. When you're clear on your values, you can make faster, more confident decisions because you know what you're unwilling to compromise. In my experience, clarity also accelerates confidence. When you know exactly what you want, you stop hesitating. You stop second-guessing yourself. You move forward with certainty, even when obstacles appear. People who are clear about their goals are not immune to fear or failure. They simply have a stronger reason to keep going. That clarity becomes their internal compass. It gives them resilience, focus, and direction, especially when times are tough. Clarity is also a filtering tool. The clearer you are about what you want, the easier it is to say no to distractions. You begin to evaluate every task, request, or opportunity by asking, does this move me closer to my goal, or is it just noise? This one habit, using your clarity as a filter, can eliminate hours of wasted time every week and keep you on track. Now, it's important to understand that clarity is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. As you grow and evolve, your goals and priorities will change. That's normal. That's healthy. What matters is that you take time regularly to reflect, refine, and reestablish your direction. I recommend reviewing your goals every morning. It only takes a few minutes, but it keeps your vision sharp and your mind focused. In fact, one of the reasons most people fail to achieve their goals is that they forget them. They set them once, maybe at the beginning of the year, and then never look at them again. But top performers review their goals constantly. They stay connected to their vision. They visualize it, affirm it, and emotionally connect with it. This daily practice of reconnecting with your clarity is what transforms goals from ideas into results. You must also be clear about your starting point. Where are you now, honestly? What skills do you have? What resources? What challenges or habits are holding you back? Without an accurate sense of where you're starting, even the clearest destination won't help. It's like trying to use a GPS without entering your current location. It won't work. Self-awareness paired with clarity of vision is a powerful combination. When you commit to living with clarity, you set yourself apart. Most people don't do this work. They live reactively, responding to whatever comes at them. But those who live with intention, those who take the time to clarify what they truly want, gain an edge in every area of life. The law of belief says that whatever you believe deep down in your heart and mind becomes your reality. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world through the filter of your beliefs. And that filter either empowers you or limits you. Your beliefs act like internal commands to your subconscious mind. They dictate how you interpret events, how you feel, and how you act. In essence, your beliefs create the blueprint of your life. Most people don't realize how powerful their beliefs truly are. From a young age, we absorb ideas from parents, teachers, culture, media, many of which go unquestioned. We inherit beliefs about money, success, failure, love, intelligence, and what is or isn't possible for us. Over time, these beliefs become the silent programs running in the background of our minds. And they influence every decision we make, often without us even knowing. If you believe you are capable, talented, and destined for success, your brain looks for evidence to support that belief. You'll try harder, bounce back faster from failure, and set bigger goals. On the other hand, if you believe you're not smart enough, not good enough, or that success is for other people, you'll unconsciously sabotage yourself. You'll hesitate, procrastinate, or settle for less, not because it's your fate, but because it's what you believe. Belief is self-reinforcing. If you believe you can, you try. If you try, you improve. If you improve, you succeed. That success reinforces the belief that you can, and the cycle continues upward. But the opposite is also true. If you believe you can't, you won't try, or you'll try half-heartedly. You'll fail or underperform, which reinforces the belief that you were right all along. That's why changing your beliefs is often the first step in changing your life. One of the most powerful discoveries I ever made in my own journey was this: you are not your past. You are not your environment. You are not your current circumstances. You are your beliefs, and beliefs can be changed. Once I understood this, I became very careful about what I allowed into my mind. I started replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. I began saying to myself every day, I am responsible. I can learn anything I need to learn. I can become anything I want to become. That's where affirmations come in. An affirmation is simply a statement that reinforces a belief you want to hold. You repeat it over and over until it sinks into your subconscious. You can say things like, I am confident and capable, or every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. At first, it might feel strange, even untrue. But over time, your mind begins to accept it. And once your mind believes it, your behavior begins to reflect it. Visualization is another powerful tool for reshaping your beliefs. When you imagine yourself succeeding, clearly and vividly, you train your brain to accept that success is possible. Your mind doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. That's why top athletes visualize their performance before competing. You can do the same in any area of life. The more you see yourself succeeding in your mind, the more natural it becomes to take the actions that lead to that success. Your beliefs also affect the people you attract and the opportunities you notice. If you believe the world is full of abundance, you'll notice chances to grow, earn, and contribute. If you believe the world is full of scarcity and competition, you'll see obstacles everywhere. Your beliefs shape your focus, and what you focus on expands. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs happen when you challenge long-held assumptions. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself that might not be true? Where did that belief come from? Is it helping me or holding me back? One by one, you can dismantle beliefs that no longer serve you, and in their place, you can install new beliefs that empower and uplift you. This is not about wishful thinking. It's about mental discipline. It's about taking control of the inner narrative that drives your outer results. Every great achievement began in the mind. The Wright brothers believed humans could fly. Edison believed he could invent the light bulb. People told them it was impossible. They held on to their beliefs until they became reality, and that same power exists within you. The truth is, you are far more powerful, far more capable than you've been led to believe. When you believe in yourself, genuinely and fully, you tap into resources of strength, courage, creativity, and resilience that you didn't even know you had. Your beliefs are the gatekeepers of your potential. Change them, and you change everything. The law of persistence is one of the greatest truths of all success. It states that you can achieve any goal you set for yourself if you persist long enough and refuse to quit. Persistence is the iron quality of character. It is the one trait that guarantees victory. Intelligence, talent, and opportunity all have their place. But without persistence, they are often wasted. On the other hand, even average individuals can accomplish extraordinary things if they simply keep going. Most people fail not because they lack ability, because they quit too soon. They give up when things become difficult, or when results don't come as quickly as they expected. They hit one obstacle, face one rejection, or experience one disappointment, and they stop. But what they don't realize is that every challenge they encounter is part of the process. Success never comes easy, and it rarely comes fast. It comes to those who are willing to stay in the game long after others have walked away. Persistence requires mental toughness. You have to train yourself to keep going even when your emotions tell you to stop. There will be days when you feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain. That's normal. But the key is not to make decisions based on how you feel in the moment. You make decisions based on your commitment. Your emotions are temporary, but your goals are worth fighting for. Every time you push through when it would be easier to quit, you build mental muscle. And over time, becomes your greatest asset. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that you never know how close you are to success when you feel like giving up. You could be one phone call, one conversation, or one new idea away from a breakthrough. But if you stop, you'll never find out. That's why I always encourage people to keep moving forward. Even slow progress is better than no progress. Momentum builds when you keep showing up day after day, regardless of how you feel. Persistence also creates mastery. No one is great when they begin. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once awkward and uncertain. The difference is that they stuck with it. They practiced, learned from their mistakes, and stayed the course. It's not the person who starts the fastest who wins. It's the person who refuses to stop. Persistence turns practice into performance and turns effort into excellence. There's another dimension to persistence that many people overlook: feedback. When you persist, you gain valuable information with every step. You learn what works and what doesn't. You refine your approach. Each setback becomes a lesson. Each failure becomes part of your education. Persistence is not about blindly repeating the same thing over and over. It's about staying in motion, learning, adjusting, and improving as you go. Those who succeed are simply those who fail, learn, and try again repeatedly. You'll also find that persistence builds character. It strengthens your resolve, increases your resilience, and deepens your belief in yourself. When you overcome difficult circumstances, you develop a sense of inner power that no one can take away from you. You become the kind of person who can face challenges with calm confidence. Inner strength begins to show up in every area of your life. In many ways, persistence is a form of faith. It's the belief that your goal is possible and worth pursuing, even when the results haven't shown up yet. It's choosing to trust the process, knowing that every effort counts, even when you don't see the payoff immediately. Successful people often say they outlasted the competition. They didn't necessarily have more talent. They simply stayed longer, pushed harder, and refused to walk away from their dream. It's important to remember that setbacks are not the end. They are part of the path. Every story of greatness includes moments of struggle, failure, and self-doubt. But those moments are also the proving grounds where persistence is forged. If you can persist when things are difficult, when the odds seem stacked against you, you are already ahead of most people. Because most people won't. They'll quit, they'll settle. But you don't have to. You can decide to keep going. You can make persistence a habit, a discipline, a core value. Nothing in life can take the place of persistence. Not genius. There are plenty of failed geniuses. Education. Many educated people never reach their potential. But persistence, the quiet, steady determination to keep moving forward, has the power to overcome almost any obstacle. It is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. And once you decide that quitting is not an option, your success becomes not a matter of if, but when. The law of preparation states that your ability to succeed in any area of life depends on how well you prepare in advance. Success favors those who are ready. Just as a farmer must prepare the soil before planting seeds, you must prepare yourself, your skills, your mindset, your habits, before you can expect to see results. The more thoroughly you prepare, the more confidently and competently you'll perform when the opportunity arrives. People often talk about luck, but in truth, luck is nothing more than what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Opportunities are all around us, but only those who are prepared can recognize and seize them. If you are not ready, the opportunity will pass you by. And you may not even realize what you missed until it's too late. That's why preparation is not optional. It's essential. Preparation builds confidence. When you are well prepared, you walk into a situation with certainty and poise. You don't second guess yourself. You don't hesitate. You know what you're doing and why. Whether it's giving a presentation, going into a job interview, launching a product, or having a difficult conversation, preparation gives you the foundation to perform at your best. Without it, even the most talented individuals can falter under pressure. Every minute you spend in preparation saves 10 minutes in execution. Planning, organizing, and rehearsing in advance can multiply your effectiveness many times over. Most people spend their lives reacting, putting out fires, dealing with problems as they arise, and trying to catch up. But those who prepare stay ahead. They anticipate challenges, design solutions, and make decisions proactively. As a result, they not only succeed more often, they do it with far less stress. Preparation is also a sign of respect for your goals, for your time, and for the people you serve. When you show up prepared, it tells the world that you take your life seriously, that you're not just going through the motions, but that you're committed to excellence. Whether it's preparing your schedule the night before, preparing for a sales meeting, or preparing your financial plan for the year, this habit of preparation sets you apart from those who rely on guesswork and luck. One of the most valuable ways to prepare is to keep learning. The world is changing rapidly, and knowledge is power. The more you learn, the more you can do. The more you prepare your mind, the better equipped you are to solve problems, make decisions, and lead others. Successful people are constantly preparing themselves for the next level. They read books, listen to audio programs, attend seminars, and seek mentors. They never stop growing because they know that preparation is a lifelong process. Preparation is also deeply connected to goal setting. Once you are clear about what you want, the next step is to ask, what do I need to do to prepare myself to achieve it? What skills must I develop? What resources must I gather? What habits must I change? You create a preparation plan that bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to go. That plan becomes your roadmap, and each step you take along that path makes you more prepared and more powerful. There is no substitute for preparation. You can't wing your way to success. You can't show up untrained, unplanned, and unfocused and expect great outcomes. Every peak performer, whether in sports, business, or any field, knows that what you do behind the scenes determines how well you perform when the spotlight is on. Champions are made in the hours that no one sees, in the preparation that happens long before game day. There is a discipline in preparation. It takes effort to sit down and plan. It takes time to practice, to study, to rehearse. But that effort pays dividends. You'll feel calmer. You'll perform better. You'll make fewer mistakes and recover faster when things don't go as expected. The irony is that preparation gives you the flexibility to adapt. Because you are not scrambling in the moment, you can adjust your approach with clarity and composure. Many people are waiting for their big break. Few are preparing for it. The question is, if the opportunity you've been waiting for showed up tomorrow, would you be ready? Would you have the skills, the mindset, and the plan to take full advantage of it? If the answer is no, then the most important thing you can do today is to begin preparing. Success belongs to the people who prepare, not just when it's convenient, but consistently, day in and day out, even when no one is watching. The law of responsibility states that you are completely responsible for your life and everything that happens to you. This is one of the most liberating and empowering principles you can ever embrace. It means that your future is not determined by your past, your circumstances, other people. It is shaped by your thoughts, decisions, and actions. The moment you accept full responsibility is the moment you reclaim your power. Most people resist this idea at first. It's easier to blame others. It's more comfortable to point to the economy, your boss, your upbringing. Bad luck as the reason things aren't going the way you want. But blaming external factors only keeps you stuck. It takes away your power to change. As long as someone or something else is responsible for your situation, you're helpless. But once you take responsibility, you put yourself back in control. Responsibility means that you own your choices. You recognize that every decision you've made has led you to where you are right now. Your financial situation, your health, your relationships, your career, all of it is the result of your actions and habits over time. That's not always easy to hear, but it's the truth. And the beauty of it is that if you created your current reality, you can create a different one. You can change direction at any time simply by making new choices. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself or feeling guilty. It means acknowledging reality with honesty and maturity. It means refusing to make excuses. It means asking, what can I do to improve this situation? Instead of, why is this happening to me? That one shift in mindset, focusing on solutions instead of problems, can change your entire outlook on life. When you accept responsibility, you stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You stop hoping that circumstances will magically improve. You start taking action. You look for what's within your control. You focus on what you can do, not what others should do. This mindset separates leaders from victims. Leaders ask, what's my next move? Victims ask, who's to blame? Only one of those questions moves you forward. In my experience, the most successful people I've met all share this one quality. They take complete responsibility for their lives. They don't blame the government, the market, their parents, or their past. They own their results, good or bad. And because of that, they're constantly growing, adapting, and improving. They understand that life is not always fair, and things don't always go according to plan, but they never allow those realities to be excuses for inaction. Responsibility also means keeping your commitments. It means doing what you say you're going to do, even when it's difficult. It means showing up on time, honoring your word, and being someone others can count on. When you take responsibility for your actions, you build trust with yourself and with others. That trust is the foundation of your reputation, your relationships, and your influence. There's another side to this law that many overlook: emotional responsibility. You are responsible for your thoughts, your emotions, and how you respond to life. No one can make you angry or frustrated or discouraged unless you allow them to. You choose your reaction in every moment. That doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means understanding that you are not at the mercy of them. You can observe them, manage them, and redirect them. That's what emotional maturity is all about. When you stop blaming and start owning, you experience a profound sense of freedom. You stop waiting. You stop hoping that something outside of you will change. Instead, you become the change. You take charge of your destiny. You create momentum. You make things happen. This is where true self-confidence comes from, not from affirmations or positive thinking alone, from the deep knowledge that you are responsible for your life and capable of shaping it. Responsibility is the foundation of all personal growth. Without it, nothing else works. You can't set meaningful goals, develop discipline, or achieve lasting success unless you first accept that you are the one who must make it happen. Other people can support you, but they can't do it for you. Life doesn't owe you anything. You must decide what you want, commit to it fully, and take consistent action to bring it to life. The more responsibility you accept, the more control you have. The more control you have, the more confident and effective you become. And the more effective you become, the more successful and fulfilled your life will be. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a gift. It gives you the ability to respond. And with that ability comes unlimited potential. The law of service states that your rewards in life will always be in direct proportion to the value you provide to others. This principle lies at the heart of all meaningful success. The more you focus on helping others solve problems, achieve their goals, and improve their lives, the more success will flow back to you, often in ways you couldn't have imagined. Life, business, and relationships are all driven by one timeless truth. People will always reward those who serve them well. Too often, people focus on what they can get, how to earn more money, gain more recognition, or secure better opportunities. But this focus is backwards. The right question is not, what can I get? But, what can I give? When you make service your first priority, when you commit to creating real value, success becomes a natural byproduct. It may not come instantly. It will come because the marketplace always responds to service. In the business world, your income is a reflection of the value you deliver. If you want to earn more, don't start by demanding more. Start by becoming more valuable. Ask yourself, how can I help more people? How can I solve bigger problems? How can I improve the experience, the efficiency, or the outcome for others? These questions shift your mindset from entitlement to contribution. And contribution is what drives income, influence, and impact. The greatest companies in the world didn't become great because they focused on profits alone. They focused on serving people at the highest level. They delivered products and services that made life better, easier, or more enjoyable. They listened to their customers, responded to their needs, and stayed committed to improvement. That's why they grew. And the same principle applies to you. Whether you are an entrepreneur, employee, or artist, the more you serve, the more you grow. Serving others doesn't mean becoming a doormat or sacrificing your worth. It means bringing your full talent, creativity, and energy to the table to make a difference. It means striving for excellence, doing more than what's expected, and delivering results that truly matter. When you do that consistently, people notice, you become indispensable. You create loyalty, trust, and word of mouth that money can't buy. The law of service also applies to relationships. The happiest, most fulfilling relationships are not based on what each person can extract from the other. They're based on mutual giving. When you enter any relationship, personal or professional, with the mindset of, how can I add value to this person's life? You transform the dynamic. You become a source of positivity, encouragement, and support. And people are drawn to those who uplift and serve. This law works on the principle of sowing and reaping. You reap what you sow, but only after you sow it. Many people make the mistake of wanting the harvest before they've planted the seeds. But life doesn't work that way. You must give first. You must invest in others, often without any immediate reward. That's where faith and patience come in. Over time, those seeds grow. The value you give out begins to return, sometimes from unexpected places. One of the key attitudes that drives a life of service is empathy. The ability to understand what others are feeling, thinking, and needing is what allows you to serve them effectively. When you listen deeply, observe carefully, and seek to understand before being understood, you position yourself to create real impact. People remember how you make them feel, and when you serve from a place of genuine care, it leaves a lasting impression. It's also important to recognize that service begins with your mindset. You don't need a special title, platform, or permission to start serving. You can start wherever you are, with whatever you have. You can serve with a kind word, a helping hand, a thoughtful suggestion, or a well-done job. Every act of service, no matter how small, contributes to your growth and influence. The habit of giving, consistently practiced, becomes a way of life, and it's a way of life that attracts abundance. The paradox of the law of service is that the more you give, the more you receive, but only when your giving is sincere and without expectation. When you serve just to get something back, people sense it. When you serve because it's who you are, because you care, because you want to make a difference, the rewards come naturally. Not just in money, in relationships, opportunities, fulfillment, and peace of mind. This law is timeless and universal. It works in every culture, every industry, and every season of life. The people who rise to the top are almost always the ones who consistently serve others with excellence, humility, and purpose. These 7 laws are not theories. They're principles I've lived by for over 40 years. They've helped me go from struggling and broke to building a life of purpose, prosperity, and impact. So here's your next step. Pick one of these laws, write it down, and commit to applying it this week. Action is the bridge between knowledge and results. If this video inspired you, click that like button, subscribe for more timeless success strategies, and share it with someone who's ready for a breakthrough. Remember, you are the architect of your future. Design it with purpose. Build it with discipline. I believe in you, and I'll see you at the top.